Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Always Out of Market podcast. We got a full house this week. 5 beautiful boys all ready to give you some shitty NFL takes. Sorry for cursing immediately, Dad, if you're listening. It's me, your boy Ryan, as usual. We got old Stevie. We got old Maddie. We got old Gavi, and we got old JC. You know, the old boys. We're gonna
Old
talk about week
boys.
14. Have some fun. You know, everybody. There's a couple of people who are in turmoil with their team. There's a couple of people who have hope with their team, and then there's smug ass Gavin. So let's talk about that.
Go.
All right.
I'm not just smug. I'm going to be like fully just embracing every bit of this. I've gone through 22 years of watching the Miami Dolphins do absolutely nothing. Let me enjoy this one season where we're the one seed for right
That's
now.
true. Oh yeah, but say y'all have been shit in the past. The thing is, I didn't know you when they were shit. I've only known you when they've been good. So
Valid. Yeah, I'm really
most
excited.
Of you guys have only known me for that.
I'm really excited for Monday Night Football this week. It's going to be really great.
Yo, we got 3 podcast team playing Monday night.
Yeah, only 2 of our teams play on Sunday this week, which is weird.
I didn't think about that, but yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got, Jason? Do we have any news to cover? What do we got?
Yeah, we have a good bit of news. Well, not like a lot, but we'll start with something short and simple. Shaq Leonard finally signed with somebody. He signed with the Eagles for 1 year to, bolster their Super Bowl run. Yep, he's ring chasing. The Eagles are bolstering their line for another Super Bowl run. We all knew he was going to sign with either the Eagles or the Cowboys, and he picked the Eagles. So, we have the Texans signed safety Adrian Amos after he was waived by the Jets, and his first game with the Texans will be against the Jets. So,
revenge game right out the gate.
Immediate revenge game. That's a gross game. And then speaking of the Jets, they cut Tim Boyle after he was really bad. They signed Brett Rippon, and Zach Wilson is slated to start this week after saying he didn't want to. So we'll see how
Allegedly. I don't know if that was ever confirmed, but
he's gonna get a headache and not play.
You heard it here
John
first.
Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first.
No, I tell you what, the Jets, it's so funny. They thought their quarterback situation was fixed in the offseason, and now they've been in quarterback hell this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, they have been like they've definitely had the worst luck with their quarterbacks this year, I think.
The
Browns are pretty bad.
Decade.
Yeah, the Browns have been going through it this year too, big time.
Yeah,
that's what they get.
The Browns had hope
Watson.
through. Yeah, the Browns had hope through a lot of those games because Deshaun would come back and then leave like after the first quarter. The Jets got 4 plays of hype. They had an entire offseason and 4 plays of being happy. And
No
then
passes.
immediately heartbreak.
and none of those were passes either. So
Just run plays.
yeah. Now we have something that's a little bit more serious, which is Panthers tight end Hayden Hurst was diagnosed with post-traumatic amnesia after a hit last month in the Panthers versus the Bears game. And I looked up what the definition was of post-traumatic amnesia, and I put it in here. It says it is a temporary state of confusion and memory loss that occurs following a traumatic brain injury. During this period, the individual may have difficulty forming new memories, recalling past events, or understanding their surroundings. And he's got obviously no timeline for when he's going to be back. While he's trying to figure out treatment for this.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably doesn't want to remember this year
terrifying.
anyway. So
It's true.
sorry, was that a bad
terrifying to
joke?
think about.
I should have said that, but still, like for real.
That was a little in bad taste, but it was still it was a good joke. I mean, I gotta be honest. That was
No, but I hate it for him because I mean he has been he's been okay. He's been a solid tight end, but not this year. But
Yeah, I mean, is that fully his fault though? Let's be honest.
No,
I mean,
It's a mess over there.
Yeah. And then we've got a suspension. Chiefs wide receiver Justin Ross was suspended 6 games after some alleged incident with his girlfriend earlier this year. Some kind of like
She cheated
domestic
on him.
assault or something. Yeah.
Got all angry and shit.
He's already been put on like a paid leave for the past like 5 games, and he's gonna have to pay all that money back that he was paid. And then he's not being paid for the 6 games that he's being suspended. Which it's 6 regular season games, so he can't finish the suspension out this year. He's gonna have to finish it out at the beginning of next year. So the Chiefs wide receiver woes are just not getting any better.
So does that mean he can play in the playoffs technically?
No, it's about to say.
I don't know. Probably not.
But I
I
mean,
wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I'm assuming
But
not.
But if it's just regular season games and they're holding it off till next year, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out. Because I mean, the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Maybe
we're
it'll be
find
like
out.
maybe it'll be like, remember in the preseason, didn't Alvin Kamara get to like play in preseason even though he was
Did.
suspended? So there's weird rules behind this. Obviously, preseason is a lot different than playoffs, but still, like the weird additional note: regular season games. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll find out here in a couple months.
Yeah.
And then we've got one that's going to hit home for one of our boys here. The Titans had a ton of injuries last week come through. Jeffrey Simmons is going to be out for a few weeks with a knee injury. Ryan Stonehouse is done for the year after having a knee injury. The Titans fired their special teams coordinator, Craig Ackerman. Did I say his name right?
That's right, yeah.
They had a meltdown last week against the Colts and had 2 blocked punts in the 4th quarter, I think.
Why did y'all go to that? I'm sorry, just going to end that here. Why the fuck did y'all go to that game? I want y'all to know, I had hope into that going to that game. I'm like, it's a home game. They haven't lost in Nashville. Division game. We usually play good against the Colts. We lost to them earlier in the season, but this was revenge time. The second Jason told me that y'all were going to that game, I was like, oh, so we're going to lose. Like, I just, for some reason, I felt it in that moment.
Hey,
and then,
Steven.
Go ahead.
Even though I was there and I picked the Titans on the podcast, I was rooting for the Colts in the Titans section the whole game. Every time something would happen, I'd be like, good play, and
y'all
everybody would just silent.
Y'all fucking suck. No,
I'll say y'all. I wore my Lawan jersey and was in full support of the Titans. I had even bet money on them going into the stadium. I was all in.
On the podcast, though.
Okay. On the podcast, I might have picked the Colts. But whenever I went to the game, I said, literally, Matthew can attest to this. I said, I don't give a fuck if I lose the podcast pick. I want to enjoy a game. I have not been to a game besides the Chiefs game I went to this year where the team I was rooting for won in the pros. The Chiefs are the only team to break the curse, and it was only because of Taylor Swift. I have to break that curse eventually, Stephen.
I just wish it wasn't with my team. And also, I'm tired of cursing my team. Literally, the last episode, I talked about how I was thinking about getting a Ryan Stonehouse jersey, even though he's a punter, just because of how good he is, and now he's out for the season. I'm sick and tired of it. I keep jinxing my own players, my own team. It's been really bad, but...
Steven, I feel you with the Kenneth Walker situation.
Yeah, I know you do. So. You understand my pain in that situation.
The first for podcast listeners, first time I wore the Kenneth Walker jersey that I bought this year, he even got injured in the first quarter, and he hasn't played since. So, yeah, it's great.
No, and now I'm worried. Like, Ryan Stonehouse has been incredible, and he's out for the rest of the season. Who knows what he'll look like when he got back, because he took a big hit to his leg. Because, and the whole reason they fired Craig Ackerman is because he's not been good as a coordinator, and then he let not 1 but 2 punts get blocked. Mm-hmm. Basically the same way, exact way. So yeah, you're gone.
Steven, we should switch jerseys for the Tennessee Seahawks game, so we curse each other's names.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
No, I'm not doing it. I hope Jeffrey Simmons.
I think that'll actually work.
I hope Jeffrey Simmons is back by the Seahawks game because I was going to wear my Simmons jersey, but who knows if that's going to happen now.
I mean, you can still wear it if he doesn't play.
I'm wearing my Kenneth Walker
I'm
no matter
wearing
what.
I'm wearing a Trevor Siemian Broncos shirt right now.
Well,
so
yeah.
It's crazy that
Um,
you even bought that shirt.
He got benched the day I got it in the mail. I wish that I was kidding, but I'm not.
No, but especially, I mean, our secondary's trash. Jeffrey Simmons is the leader of our defensive line, and we're playing the fucking Dolphins this week on Monday Night Football in prime time. This is going to be fucking miserable. I put in PTO to take the day off work a month ago thinking, maybe they'll have a chance or something. No. I mean, I'm still going to take off work, but I'm going to be at home probably crying a little bit.
Who gets embarrassed more in Monday Night Football, the Titans or the Giants?
Probably the Titans, honestly.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Because
I got a feeling it's going to be close for some reason.
Tyreek Hill is going to just sprint, basically half sprint past my secondary, and that's all it's going to take to get like fucking 50 yards. So I don't feel good about this game. If the Titans somehow pull up an upset, that's the most Titans thing of all time because they're really good at beating the good teams that they have no business beating and losing the games they should win. But not this week, I don't think. So
it's a shame y'all don't have a winning record.
Let's move on. What else we got?
We got one more, and there was a lot of news in y'all's division this week because this is with the Jaguars. Christian Kirk is on IR. He had a core injury that he had to have surgery for. And then Trevor Lawrence has a high ankle sprain, but is somehow on track to play this week.
He looked nasty too. He got stomped on.
Yeah, I don't know how in the hell he's even questionable. Because that's usually like at least a 4-week thing for a quarterback to recover from. So
I forgot. Who are the Jags playing this week?
The Bengals.
The Bengals.
No, that's not right. The Browns. Sorry.
The Browns. I would say I would be tempted to just let Trevor Lawrence miss this game to give him a little extra rest and then let him come back next week because right now they've got the Colts and the Texans right on their ass for the division. So you might want to let him rest so they can at least go out on a good note and probably still have a chance to win the division.
Well, see, the problem is if they do rest him and they lose this week, they drop to 8-5. The Texans play the Jets. So they're probably going to win, and then they'll be tied for the division. So, I mean, it's one of those things of if he really feels like he can play, then I mean, I guess let him play. But obviously, you still want to have a cautious approach with it being your franchise quarterback. You don't want him to get hurt and be out for an extended amount of time. But
just should mention both the primetime games this week, Monday Night Football last week, and then, of course, Thursday Night Football this week, we all got wrong. We all picked the Jaguars, and we all picked the Steelers. Both were wrong. So we ended on a bad note.
Also, most of us picked Chiefs in Sunday Night Football, too.
Yeah, except for Tyler and Matthew. So.
Yep. So out of the 3 primetime games, 2 were correct picks, and that was it.
Shows why we didn't have shows why we don't have a good percentage this week when we get there to our stats. So
yeah, well, we can move on. That was it for the news. So
there's one more that was mentioned this morning. Geno Smith might not start.
Oh yeah, Pete Carroll has mentioned that Drew Lock might end up starting this week against the 49ers because Geno Smith has a groin injury that he got on Thursday in practice.
That's rough if he doesn't play. Oh my god.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's rough if he does play.
I was gonna say,
bad, but
I feel like it'd be a lot better if he was there, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, Geno fucking shelled out for the Cowboys. He was there. It was our defense wasn't there. So I don't know. I'm gonna have faith for now in Horsecock Lock, but we'll see.
It's
That makes a lot
the
more
Hawks.
sense for the spread for that game, though. With it being 13-point spread against the Niners, that makes a lot more sense with the possibility of Geno not playing.
It's also 13.5 now.
Yeah.
That does not bode well for you guys because that means the pro bettors are actually betting on the Niners to cover that. So
I'm gonna be honest.
That's,
I would bet on that.
oh, I'm going to.
I say the Seahawks offense that showed up last week, even without Geno, shows up this week. I don't know if they can do it. I mean, our defense, if it's status, 49ers can put like 40 fucking points on us, but just like the Cowboys did. But like
Hey,
I said,
Ryan,
we
if-
balled out on offense last week, so
just heads up, if Gavin bets on it, y'all are probably going to win. So
we'll bet on it, Gavin.
Or you
I
at
got
least
you, man.
cover, maybe.
I'll hammer it. How many units? How many units am I betting on it, Ryan?
7.
Damn.
7 units. Jesus.
I don't know what units are, Gavin. I don't know how betting works. So.
Gavin had to teach
All right,
me
I
how
got
to
you,
bet
man.
the other day.
I'll place it.
But yeah, I don't know. It's they kicked our ass in Lumen, and I know we're not even to that game yet. I'm already fucking talking about that game, but yeah, it's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about it some more when we get there on our picks.
Yeah.
But
We're just in the middle of the Ryan time, or the Ryan sad time.
So are we going on to fantasy now, or we got anything else, Jason?
That's it for me. So that's all you know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna save me and Ryan for last, given that it's got the most implications this week. We got let's switch over here. So starting off, we're gonna start with the fantasy matchup between Jason and Tyler. Tyler's got a better team now because of that trade that I made with him. So
the only way this game actually matters is if Tyler outscores me by I think 230 points, I will get last place in our league.
Ooh.
So if he outscores me by 230 points, then
And
this
you
game
also
matters.
lose.
And I also lose. Well, if he outscores me by 230 points, I assume I'm going to lose. I think I'd have to get like fucking 50 points at the minimum.
I'd love to see you win and then also Tyler put up 230 plus points. Like that's
insane. If you got that, if you got the fucking point threshold but not the win threshold, that would be fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean,
like 300 plus points in this game in order to actually not be last in our league. So,
I mean, I'll tell y'all, regardless of this, and I know Jason, unfortunately, it didn't work out picking the Steelers defense this week. Even still, I'm going to pick Jason here. We let this guy have Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen, and CeeDee Lamb as his wide receivers. Like, that's insane. And Dak Prescott, has been incredible, like MVP level the last several weeks. So, I mean,
I think it's crazy. If Alvin Kamara was projected 0.1 points more, I would have 4 players on my team that are projected 20 plus points.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh yeah, Alvin Kamara against Carolina. Yeah, that's a good matchup for him. All right.
I don't want Keenan Allen to do good because they're playing the Broncos this week, but I feel like he's going to have to do good for me to be able to beat Tyler with his team.
So what are you guys thinking about this game? Just Jason, Tyler, what?
I'm just going to go with Jason. I mean, every time I play Jason, he puts up almost 200 points. So
True, it's true. My best games have been against Matthew, and then I had the one really good game against Gavin.
I think he put up 180 every time he played me.
I think
he might have had 170 one time.
I think I put up 180 and 188.
Played 3 times.
Just for shits and gigs, I'm going to pick Tyler for the matchup just because I think it would be hilarious.
Tyler for the upset would be pretty cool. So
Gavin just hates me.
I don't hate you, but I also do want the number 1 seed.
Oh, that sucks, doesn't it?
It does.
He wants to go up against either me or Ryan for that 4th place spot. All right.
Yeah, I do not want to be at the 2. I do not want to be at the 2.
All right, but next up we've got Matthew versus Gavin. 2 versus 3 right now. And this is their matchup. So
you guys could be playing each other for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
It's possible.
There's a chance of that happening, yeah.
Um, I'm just looking at it now. Both of y'all's teams can really both pop off for sure.
I feel like how
Wow.
you only have like fucking 4 different teams on your team, Gavin. Like 4
Yeah,
different.
I was gonna say the one thing that really scares me about Gavin's team is that if Miami does either really good or really bad, then
Yeah.
he's either set or fucked.
I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be the really
The
good.
only
though.
reason The only reason I'm doing this, because I don't think this year I've done it to where I've started all 3 of those guys in the same week. Um, just going to watch that Titans game, Devon Achane went back to form last week. He actually had a really good game. I think he got around 20 points. And I just feel like Tua is going to pop off this week, probably throwing a lot of passes to Tyreek more than Jalen Waddle. But Jalen Waddle's just due to have a pretty big week. And I forget who I have on my bench, but everybody else down there just does not give me that same level of confidence I have right there. Except for
You know
Nico
what?
Collins, but I think he was questionable earlier in the week. Oh, yeah, and Sauce Gardner's going to be blanketing him the entire game. So I do not trust Nico this week.
Yeah, since Tank Dell's out, Nico's going to be getting all of the leading corners at this point, probably. But
I can tell you Nico's going to be a starter probably going forward in the playoffs, but just this week against the Jets, can't do it.
yeah, definitely you got doubled up on Detroit, and then you're tripled up on Miami. So
Doubled up on Dallas.
Doubled up on the Cowboys.
yeah,
Honestly,
Jesus.
Matthew, you should just trade Raheem Mostert for Christian McCaffrey to Gavin, and then
Yeah.
you can just do all 4. Dolphins at the
Especially-
That
top.
sounds pretty fair.
Especially
That's
since
not
you can
fast.
still trade, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I know you probably don't have a better option, but I don't like starting Raheem Mostert because I feel like he hasn't gotten a whole lot of points recently. I might be remembering wrong, and it's very possible that that's the case. But for some
I
reason,
don't have a choice.
I mean, you have Aaron
That's the thing.
Jones.
He has been hurt every week, and then
Yeah.
I'm afraid he's gonna get hurt again.
I have Aaron Jones in my other league, one of the most unreliable running backs this year.
Man,
It's been so disappointing.
He
Or look
went
for
out and
someone
put
to
up.
pick up.
I've tried. There's really no good running backs left that are actually going to do anything. But Aaron Jones came out week 1 and put up almost 30 points. Then he was injured for like 6 weeks. Then he got injured again, and then he might come back this week. I don't know. And I don't trust AJ Dillon. He's just not consistent enough. So
I know I was basically saying that the Dolphins are going to absolutely destroy the Titans, but just because there's so many Dolphins players on here, fuck you, Gavin. I'm going to pick Matthew this week.
I'm picking Matthew as well. I think the 49ers and Seahawks are going to wind up having a shootout kind of game, and Debo and DK are going to get a lot of points apiece.
I can respect that. I think Drew Lock is going to be chucking up a lot of balls to DK. I just feel like that defense is going to be draped over top to try and prevent him.
Yeah, but they also got to cover Tyler Lockett and JSN too.
Before we
And
look
Bobo.
at
Shit, I'll let you beat me with Tyler Lockett over beating me with DK. I'm doubling DK every time if I'm playing the Seahawks.
the last matchup, I want to show the standings because this is why it's so important. So, Jason, Gavin, and Matthew have all officially clinched a playoff spot 1, 2, and 3. It's currently a fight between those spots, but y'all are all in. Tyler's already eliminated, but then this week determines really if it's going to be me or Ryan. Now, since me and Ryan are playing each other, huh?
Go ahead and tell y'all it's going to be Steven.
Well, as of right now, even if Ryan beats me, he has to score like 40-something
34.
points.
I have to beat you by 34 points, and then
Yeah.
I take your spot.
Because it's going to come down to the
34
tiebreaker for points
22.
for.
34.22 points I have to beat you by, and I'm already projected to lose you by like 20. So
I would.
like, my team is just falling apart. I mean, I know the whole season, Steven, you're like, no, I think you have a chance. I'm like, no, I don't, Steven. I've been out of it since like mid-season, honestly. This team's kind of just gone to shit.
I still think it's a
Yep.
fucking solid team, though. Looking at it, that you
Yeah,
got
not
really good
really.
players.
It's
Not really
solid
compared to
by the names because like Patrick Mahomes has underperformed this season. Justin Jefferson's been out all year. Michael Pittman's supposed to be a wide receiver 1, and he hasn't done anything with the quarterback situation. Amon-Ra, Travis Etienne is the only real bright spots on his team.
Etienne isn't even a bright spot. Look at Etienne's last like 3 or 4 games. He hasn't done shit. Like my team is just, even though they are like great names, they have just fucking decided to not show up at all this second half of the season. So unless a miracle happens or something, I also was I'm benching Rashad White for the first time in a while just because I was like I got to put in. I'm going with Bijan because I feel like he has a potential to get more explosive than Rashad. Obviously, I got to go risky.
Did you pick up the Packers defense this week?
Probably.
Because I don't remember you having the Packers defense.
Yes, because I put in a waiver for the Packers defense and the Texans defense, and they both got picked up before I got them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath at all because I've said my team is just kind of fallen off second half of the season. So I was doing really good first half, and then
I'm gonna say it now. Give me Ryan to win by 25 points.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if I do win, I'm not gonna win by 34. There's no way.
So
he's gonna win and look like he has a chance to beat him by as many points as he needs to, but come just short.
Okay.
So I'm shooting for Ryan to win by 33.
That would be so awful. You know what sucks is the last play. Steven's not gonna have Tyreek playing until Monday night.
Yeah,
true.
That sucks. Also, I want to have my defense playing until Monday night too. So
hey, they could get 20 points or something. You know, it's possible.
It is the Giants.
DeVito could be chucking that bitch up.
It's also I've given up more on this team as well because in my other 2 fantasy leagues I'm like fucking first overall in both of those. So it's I care a lot more about those. They have a lot more of my attention than this one now. So because I'm not gonna fucking get last because unless Tyler gets 200 something points, and I'm not gonna make the playoffs. So I'm just kind of like I don't give a shit about this league anymore.
Within the next couple of weeks, we're gonna have to force Tyler to buy his jersey.
Yeah.
For coming in last.
I've tried asking him like what his plan is. I'm like, you need to have a plan. And he's like, I still believe. What do you mean? Just have a plan.
Go to the league.
Still believe.
That's what he told me. No.
Go to the Sandy and Steven.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me
he kept saying, we'll worry about that when it gets to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which means he's not gonna do it.
He's got to do a punishment.
279 point 5 points.
More than you.
Points more than I get this week in order to knock at last place.
So if Ryan's team all doesn't play at all, and then Tyler's team has a record-breaking game by all of his players.
How many players are on? How many players we have on our teams? We have like 9.
9.
Yeah, so he would have to average 30 points for all of his players.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen.
He has to get 270 points. We have to get more than that, 9 more points than that, and also I'd have to get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll figure out his punishment whenever
he's doing the punishment. We're gonna.
Yeah, we had decided earlier on in the season that whatever it is at the start of playoffs, what you're ranked 5 or 6, whoever's 6 is gonna be the one punished. We're not gonna count the consolation game for the 5 and 6.
There is no consolation game, I don't think, is there?
There is.
There's a consolation bracket.
But we're not counting it because he's going to be at least 2 games back, probably, of the next person.
So, regardless, it should be interesting. I'm excited. I am a little bit nervous, though, just because it's like, I mean, if Justin Jefferson comes back and looks like prime Justin Jefferson or something, there might be, I mean, it's possible.
The rest of my team still has to fucking show up. That's the thing.
Well, yeah. But all right. You ready to move on to stats and picks?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So starting off, we've got to cover Week 13. As we mentioned earlier, we did not do well this week. Most of us kind of blew it in the primetime games especially. But Gavin, you're just holding on to that first place spot overall. We'll get to that in a minute. But you're at you got 9 right this week, 69%. I bet that's your favorite number.
It is.
Jason second and 54, and then Ryan, Tyler, and I all tied for 46%, 6 correct, and then Matthew had 5 out of 13. So obviously the standings, you're way down there in 6, but you were only 1 game behind most of us, so it's not really that bad.
That's every week. It seems
Yeah.
like I'm 1 game behind the people who tied for in front of me.
Yeah.
It's just everybody else.
So
Hey,
it's
because
not
you
like you're
got
getting
it right.
destroyed each week. That's the thing. So, but we'll get to it in a minute. But now let's move on to you were right, we were wrong. So, yeah, I hate both of you guys, especially Matthew and Gavin, but I hated Gavin more because he picked the Colts and then went to the game. So the Colts won in overtime. That game, weirdly enough, despite how bad the Titans played, the Titans probably should have won that game. The special teams blew it for them. That was all it was. It was all special teams.
They also missed the extra point to send it to where it wouldn't have been overtime.
Yeah, they missed the extra point because Ryan Tannehill had to hold the ball. So even he's not even the starting quarterback anymore, and he still fucked us over. That's unbelievable. Yeah, Tannehill's made me so mad this year. I tried to vouch for him, like, hey, he's not as bad as people say he is, and he's just been he let me down. Of course, he got replaced by Levis, and then, yeah. Clearly, he had not practiced it, and then they did make the second attempt for the field goal in overtime, but then, of course, the Colts scored a touchdown, so it didn't matter. Yeah, special teams totally fucked us over this week, but congrats to you, Gavin, for getting the pick right.
Hey, you guys did find a solid new Mike linebacker, though, with Will Levis, though. You guys found a solid new Mike linebacker. He's got a secondary position available.
All right. But let's move on. We got the other you were right, we were wrong. Jason picked the Cardinals to beat the Steelers, and they beat the Steelers pretty bad. The Steelers now have lost back-to-back weeks to 2-10 teams, making them both 3-10. That's a crazy thing to think about.
They're still positive though.
They're not. Yeah. They're not finishing with a positive record this year. There is no way. With their schedule, there is no way.
You say that, but it's the Mike Tomlin effect. I don't know.
I don't give a fuck. There is no fucking way they win 2 of their last games. They play a hard schedule.
We'll see. We'll see.
Gavin, who'd you pick in this game?
He clearly
talking to me.
No, I was making a joke because Gavin fucked himself on a parlay because he picked the Steelers.
Oh damn, that sucks. Hey, on the bright side, you can actually bet when you're not here in Alabama. We can't ever do any of that, so we don't have the option to lose much money. So there's a positive outlook on it.
We don't have the option to lose money.
Unless we do prize picks.
The confidence you got me there.
Yeah, unless we do prize picks. That's our only real option for that. But all right. Let's move on to overall stats. All right, Gavin's pulling away again. Old Gavin way up there at 65% overall. And then Jason's still holding on to second. Ryan and I are still tied for third. Tyler's in fifth, and Matthew's in sixth. But you're over that 50%. That's your goal.
And everybody's over 100. At 100 at least. Technically. Everybody's at 100 or over.
Since last season, at least. I'm above 50.
Yes.
Well, we still have about 5 or 6 weeks left. So
just hold on. That's all you got to do. Just hold on at this point. But yeah, congratulations. Everybody's now officially over 100 games picked correctly.
Except for Matthew, who's at 100.
At or over, yeah. I guess I should just say at 100 picks.
I can't believe I've gotten 94 games wrong this season.
Hey, we got 100 games right, Matthew.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right. Well, let's move on to our first game for this week. Never mind. I forgot we have another thing first.
Joke's on you, audience.
Joke's on you, audience. I tricked you. So Jason went through and got all this information about who's clinched playoffs, who's eliminated, and all that stuff. So right now, the only person that's eliminated is the Panthers. Jason told me that if the Steelers had actually won, the Titans would have been eliminated. but now they're not, and they're not even in risk of being on the chopping block this week. So, yay! Thanks, Patriots, I guess. But yeah,
Speaking of the chopping block,
yeah. Next slide is there we go. Who's on the chopping block this week? We got the Cardinals and the Patriots. So the Cardinals, if the Rams win and the Packers win, and then the Rams win. Oh, that's another scenario. The other scenario is if the Rams win, Packers tie, and the Vikings win or tie. Then they get eliminated. And the Patriots, if the Texans win or tie, or if the Bengals win or tie.
and I just want to say, if we're going to be doing this for the rest of the season, I'm not going to include. There are more scenarios, but I only included the two that are the most likely. I don't want to include every single scenario because there are just some crazy ones, which you'll see on the next slide for the playoff clinching scenarios.
But I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think that's good. Just the top two is honestly probably the all we need.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
and especially
these
these
two
are
teams
both very
out
likely.
after this week. Yeah,
this is very likely to happen. All right. When we got
This is going to be so much smoother than it went last year when we were just reading all of this off.
oh yeah,
Holy God. Because of all of the information that has to happen with this.
yeah,
This
I'm not
is
even going to
still
bother
so
reading any of this.
unnecessary.
The only common thing we need to see on this slide, which is how these three teams can clinch the playoff berth, is all three of them in the top scenario need the Seahawks to lose.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, if you want to see all the scenarios, just watch the YouTube video. I'm not reading all this shit out.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
Basically, Philly, San Francisco, and Dallas all can get a playoff clinching spot if, basically, like Ryan said, the Seahawks lose. So,
and a couple other things happen.
And there's a lot of other things that have to happen. So.
Yeah, but that's
actually,
the biggest thing they're looking for.
49ers, all they need is the Seahawks to lose and the Packers to lose. So
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Packers are going to lose to the Giants. So
They could also have Minnesota lose. Which
yeah,
is what
I think that's the one that's more likely. So
none of that's going to matter because the Seahawks are going to beat the 49ers.
Let's go, Ryan. All right.
There's your thumbnail. Is Ryan doing that?
Yeah, I'll grab that. All right. For our first game for this week, we've got the Texans taking on the Jets. And this was a very easy, clean sweep, I think. Right now, it's going to be Zach Wilson back at quarterback. I think we already talked about that.
Yep.
C.J. Stroud is still playing out of his mind. It's hard to pick against the Texans right now.
And our theme for this week, provided a theme for the swept teams, is cakes. So you're ready to see some amazing cakes throughout the slideshow.
Shout out to Ben. Happy 8th birthday.
Yeah, happy 8th birthday, Ben. I hope you enjoy your Airbus Beluga cake.
Can we just say Ben is one of our 8 listeners? Can we just say that now? And he's forever having his 8th birthday.
He loves giant weird ass airplanes and our podcast. That's his two things.
Yes.
And his 8th birthday.
Oh, yeah, he's like 35 now.
He constantly thinks about his 8th birthday.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't?
Yeah, don't we all?
He just has dreams about eating that cake that looks like a beluga whale playing. All right.
Honestly, that ribbon is done really well, gotta say.
Yeah. It is pretty clean, isn't it? Looks really good. All right, let's move on. We got another sweep. We've got the Rams taking on the Ravens. And we all picked the Ravens. What, Matthew?
I said happy birthday, Jamie.
Happy 50th birthday, Jamie.
Got him of a Ram 1500 truck cake.
Yeah, Jamie's our 9th listener too. We got another podcast listener right now.
Yep.
I was sitting here wondering, I was like, why the hell is it a truck?
Well, it's a Dodge Ram.
It's
Gavin.
a Dodge Ram.
Yeah, this game, the Ravens defense is just going to be too good, I think, for the Rams to do a whole lot.
Rams are just bad.
I mean, they're not that bad, though.
I don't think they're bad at all. They've got some good weapons. It's just, the Ravens is a tough matchup. I mean, we've seen what the Ravens defense has looked like this year, and the Ravens offense is also really good, so this was an easy pick. All right, let's move on. We got another sweep.
Oh my god.
That is a cake. That is a derpy Panther cake. We got the Panthers taking on
Nightmare
the.
fuel.
Yeah, those eyes are really like.
Just
I'm
wait,
not-
Matthew. Just
Yeah,
wait.
there's a worse one. Trust me. Yeah, the Panthers are taking on the Saints this week, and we all picked the Saints. Except, I just remembered now.
Yeah, you
Didn't
wanted to
Tyler
switch.
said he was switching?
We wanted to switch, but he said that when I just sent the cake to Steven, and we wanted to use the cake. So we're switching
Yeah.
Tyler now, even though he's not on the
shit.
podcast. Tyler officially switches from the Saints to the Panthers.
And watch, I've picked the Panthers the last 2 weeks and they haven't won. Tyler is going to pick them this week and they're going to win.
Just put the head on. Or
Yeah,
just put Tyler's head on him. Yeah.
Tyler can be the
Shit.
Panther. Oh.
I'm struggling, so, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta pull
Technical
this to the
difficulty.
front.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Yeah.
Is it cake or fake?
That looks really good. I like that. All right.
Tyler honestly should try that look out.
Why does the head tilt actually work with how the Panther's leaning?
It doesn't even look like a panther body anymore. It looks like a
No.
pit bull body or something.
It looks like a seal.
It does. It does. You're absolutely right. That's what it looks like. Well, yeah. So he decided he wanted to switch to the Panthers. I don't really know why. He's probably picked the Panthers more than anyone else on the podcast.
He said because Jameis Winston is starting.
It means that they're going to throw for, I don't know, 700 yards in this game.
I was like, yeah, he said Jameis Winston starting. And I was like, you do realize Bryce Young is still starting for the Panthers? Like Jameis is better than Bryce. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to say about this game. It's going to be a bad game all the way around.
Some of these
Say-
horrible games right now.
It's
Well,
just it's one of those weeks.
Yeah.
it's like 3 clean sweeps in the beginning, but we're gonna start getting a lot more.
oh yeah.
There's only 2 more clean sweeps this week, so
The next one we've got, this might actually be a pretty interesting game, especially with how the Bengals looked against the Jaguars. We got the Colts taking on the Bengals, and most of us went Bengals except for Matthew and Gavin, who picked the Colts. So, why'd y'all pick the Colts?
I like the defense that the Colts has going for them right now. I think Jake Browning had a good week last week in primetime, but I just don't think that he's going to sustain. I know he was able to feed those weapons, but I feel like if they can just start stacking over top, force Jake Browning to make some try and make some plays downfield, let their D line get after him a little bit. I think this is going to be a game that gets away from the Bengals offensively due to the fact that Joe Burrow's not at quarterback. I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's got the boys humming right now. And I like the Colts to make a very good playoff push right now towards this back half of the season.
You know, I've talked about that, everyone's really talking about the Texans and the Jags for the AFC South. And I'm like, hey, Colts are right there too. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
So the Colts have looked really good with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. So he's had a couple bad games in there. Like he played real bad against the Jaguars, but overall, he's been a pretty solid quarterback. And a lot of teams could really learn from this because they actually signed a decent backup quarterback while a lot of other teams didn't do that. And now they're struggling because half the fucking starting quarterbacks are out on injury this year. So, I could see it. I could see it going either way. I just decided to pick Bengals because, that's just what felt right at the moment, I guess.
Jake Browning is elite.
This
You
game
heard it
is
here first from Ryan.
this game is just really a toss up. I think whoever scores first and last is going to win. It's going to be one of those games where the defenses are not going to be able to make stops.
Really?
Yes,
I think the Colts defense could get some stops. I actually think they have a better chance.
It's the 26th versus the 32nd ranked defenses in the league. So
yeah.
I don't know where you got the Colts defense was good.
I just like the defensive setup they got going right now. I like a lot of the boys they got out there. I like the athletes. I think DeForest Buckner is in for a pretty good game this week if he's actually playing.
DeForest Buckner's doing great for my fucking Madden franchise team.
I'm glad to hear that, Ryan. Thank God. Thank God that we got that in on the pod.
I'm just saying, I agree. He's a good player.
He is.
He's a monster. He's got like 14 sacks in my connected franchise mode.
All right, let's move on. We've got Man, another divisional matchup here. We've got the Buccaneers taking on the Falcons. So Gavin and Tyler picked the Bucks while everyone else went Falcons. Interesting enough, I think Gavin, you've picked the Falcons when no one else has, and it's worked out in favor for you several weeks. This time you didn't do that. You went the other way around. You went to the Bucks.
I have picked the Bucks so many times. It has continued to burn me, but I'm only doing it because of my preseason prediction that they would win the division. They're still in the hunt for it, and I'm going to keep fucking picking them until they keep biting me in the ass at this point. I'm so terrified of this matchup. The Colts one, I have a lot of confidence with that pick. This one, I have very little confidence with. I'm just banking on the fact that Baker's going to have a day, and they're going to want to make up for that loss that they had in Tampa Bay earlier in the year to the Falcons.
Hey, Gavin, do you know what the definition of insanity is?
I do know exactly what it is, and I'm going to keep letting it bite me in the ass at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, neither one of these teams deserves to win this game. Like,
Bijan deserves to win.
Bijan is the only player on either team. Bijan and Mike Evans are the two people
There we
who
go.
deserve to win on these teams.
And
That is
Rashad
it.
White,
Yeah.
he's been pretty good.
Bijan has more rushing yards than Rashad White, and he hasn't played for half the
Rashad
season.
White is also one of like the top. Fantasy leagues, he's top like 10 back. So
Baker just loves those checkdowns. It's checkdowns or huck it up to Mike Evans. That's his entire offensive scheme right now.
Yeah, I will say I'm having trouble deciding. On paper, I should probably go with the Ravens, but like I've got the Ravens defense and
they're not
getting to it. I have the Ravens defense and I have the Falcons defense on fantasy. So right now I'm having trouble deciding. We didn't talk about it when we were at it, talking about fantasy earlier, but I have the Falcons in as my starting defense. I'm really between the two because if the Rams offense decides to play well, then probably should have gone with the Falcons. So right now, this is, for me, it's going to depend on Baker Mayfield, how he does against the Falcons secondary, because the Falcons have been getting some good picks the last few weeks. So, but I think this game could go either way. And Mike Evans is just incredible. We got to address that because he's played with all these different quarterbacks, and he's just been a solid wide receiver through all of them. So Mike Evans is great.
Over 1,000 yards again this year.
Yep.
Yeah. He's
like 8 seasons in a row or something.
Yeah.
But that NFC South is a little bit of a mess right now. Again, they just never cannot be.
We knew that before the season. We knew looking at it, the NFC South was going to be bad. The thing that I think everybody got wrong, they thought the AFC South was going to be just as garbage.
Because they usually are.
They usually are. And this year, it looked like it was going to be no different. You had, two rookie quarterbacks in the division that were going to be starting out. Eventually, Will Levis came in, so now you have 3 rookie quarterbacks going in the AFC South. It looks like the Jags were supposed to run away with the AFC South, but now they have a chance to play 3 different teams in the playoffs. Not one of them named the Titans. I don't know how that makes you feel, Steven, but...
I mean, not great, Gavin. Thank you.
Just kicking him while he's down.
Like I said, you better hope the Dolphins do destroy the Titans, because if somehow the Titans pull an upset, I'm not going to be friendly to you.
Oh, no, you let me have it. But I'm going to tell you now, whenever it gets to that game on the pick'em, there's a bit of a rant that's coming. There's a little bit of a monologue that's coming about that game and why I'm picking.
We'll let you cook. I'm excited to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So, all
Get
right.
us off of this game.
I will say this is a rare occurrence this week of we're having 2 starting quarterbacks at the start of the season playing against each other.
True.
It's Baker Mayfield and Desmond
that...
Ritter, but it's 2 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's literally the last guys you would have thought would be playing each other at this point in the season.
Meanwhile, we go here. We got Trevor Lawrence is probably going to play, but still.
All right. Well, we've got the next game. We got the Jags taking on the Browns. And everyone went Browns except for old Jags superfan over there.
Is Flacco playing?
Still? I think Flacco is playing.
They are not. They're not saying.
But Trevor Lawrence is potentially going to play.
Yes.
I'm about to look at Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence questionable. He was limited Thursday and Friday.
If he's actually practicing, that's a good sign for Trevor Lawrence, even if it's limited.
It's one of those things like if he plays, I want the Jags. If he doesn't, I want the Browns.
Exactly. You know what? Fuck it. I'm switching. I'm going to the
Me
Jags.
too.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean,
If
I'm going
Trevor
to stay over here.
That's how important I think he is for the Jaguars as a team.
Mhm.
Like,
I get that. I think you guys are not recognizing the stadium that they're playing in and the defense that they're having to go against.
Shitty
Oh, I know the
stadium.
Browns defense is elite.
The
that was the whole
Browns-
set. I know you didn't watch podcast last week, but Gavin, I was on a fucking hill by myself defending the Browns defense last week.
And then they lost.
Exactly. So they fucked me last week, and I also just, in general, fucking hate the Browns. Any excuse to leave, picking them. I'm gonna do
Also,
it.
Oh, I understand 100%. I get it. Why? I get why it happens. I'm just saying the Browns at home, that defense is probably the best in the league.
the
Browns away, their stats are garbage.
They've fallen off the last month pretty much though. Like their defense has not been nearly as good as it was.
Because they've been away a lot of those games. I don't know what it is, but somebody pointed it out to me, and I started doing a little bit more research on it. There's something in the water in Cleveland. When they're at home, the boys are just ready to go and firing it off on all cylinders. But they go anywhere else. Flacco put up numbers that were comparing against Stafford last week, and they weren't able to shut down anybody on defense. I don't know what the hell goes on with them. But as soon as they get on a plane to go anywhere, they just forget how to play football.
That sounds like another team I know until last week.
You know,
The old Cleveland
I tried
Titans.
to wear the Lamar jersey for you, man.
Don't call them the Cleveland Titans. That is disgusting, and I hate you. Don't
Cleveland
even say it.
Titans.
Don't start that shit.
Cleveland Titans,
Oh, God.
baby.
We can go over the Tennessee Browns if you want, Steven.
That might be worse.
Worse.
That might be
Definitely
worse.
worse.
The TVs.
All right, well, no. So, all right. Now, well, this is now our only shot at having a 3-3 split on picks because we didn't have any. Just spoiler alert, we didn't have any like that for the rest of the games. But now, since Jason and Ryan have switched to the Jags to join Matthew over there, it's a 3-3. So this might be really interesting.
I'm gonna immediately regret my decision if Trevor Lawrence is not playing, but I'm gonna take the gamble that he is playing. And
Yeah, well, we lock it in.
Who's the backup quarterback for the Jags?
CJ Beathard.
I thought that too.
Play, and he did play, obviously last week when Trevor Lawrence got hurt.
Career backup.
CJ Beathard, the Iowa Hawkeye. Iowa was well renowned for their offensive prowess, so I think you guys are in good hands if he starts.
You watch and see. You watch and see.
Let's move on.
Beathard
Oh my
masterclass.
God.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned that there was a worse cake
Yep.
coming up. We've got the Lions taking on the Bears, and we have another clean sweep. Everyone picked the Lions, and apparently that is Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
Can you not tell? It looks just like him.
The eyes, Winnie the Pooh doesn't have blue eyes. I'm pretty sure he just has like black dots for eyes.
Yes.
So I don't
He
know
also-
why the fuck they made him
He's also
white.
not that color or wear that color shirt.
That's true as well.
Now, somebody did not try very hard when making that cake.
I would
Not trying
eat a
very
slice
hard.
of it.
That's not trying at all.
Also, so he has a dick. You see a little like nubbin underneath his left elbow or his right elbow,
Yep.
his left elbow. It's like a fucking like knob or like a dick or something coming out.
Maybe it is.
It looks like they tried to make Winnie the Pooh from memory, and it just didn't work.
I'd like to see that person's brain and figure out how that's what they came up with from memory.
This isn't Winnie the Pooh. This is Winnie taking a poo.
Also, I want to mention I updated it. We've been using the toilet seat Bears logo for this whole season, but I realize I probably should update it to the actual logo that they use now. So
And that's honestly, I love that logo. It's honestly probably one of my favorite logos in the NFL now.
it's pretty
Yeah.
sweet. It's a nice logo.
Of course, bears are my favorite animals. That might be part why, but
All right, let's move.
Hang on. I just want to say this game is going to be sneaky close. You watch.
I almost picked the
100%.
Bears, but the Lions seemed like they were out for vengeance last week, and it just completely swayed my opinion. I do hope the Bears win, which is something I didn't think I'd ever say, but I do hope the Bears beat the Lions.
I think the thing that's holding back the Lions and will probably hold them back from potentially having a run in the playoffs is their defense. Their defense has not really been that good. Their offense is incredible, but I mean, I could see DJ Moore having a big game. That's why I'm playing him in fantasy this week. Just it's he put up a ton of points last time they played, so I'm just I think it will be close. I think Jason's right on that too, but it's hard to pick against the Lions with how they've been this year. They've had a bad run a little bit in there, but they're still a solid team. All
If
right.
I swap my pick, will you put my head on the Bear?
Sure. Do you want to
I don't
switch?
No.
We'll put your head just on the nose. You just get to be the nose of the Bear.
All right. Well, we'll move on then. All right.
That's a true fan.
He's sticking
is
with
a
it, and I
true fan.
respect
I
it.
just say, yeah, I fucking asshole earlier season Ryan fucking said that I would have never picked against the Seahawks this year, and so I got to fucking follow him like a jackass now. So,
All right. Well, we got the Seahawks taking on the 49ers. Of course, everybody picked the 49ers except for Ryan, who picked the Seahawks.
Yeah.
If the Seahawks play like they did against the Cowboys, though,
I mean,
maybe there's a
competitive.
chance.
Offense, defense, no. Offense, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I've been talking this for the past few weeks. I'm currently in like the worst month of football of my entire life, ish in general. So I'm just ready for this nightmare to be over. I doubt it's gonna be this week, but
Or next week.
yeah,
Y'all
we'll see.
have the
the week
Seahawks have
after
a
that.
rough. The Seahawks have a rough schedule for
About
the
to
rest
say,
of this year.
and that's why like it's gonna suck when I'm going. Obviously, we're going to the game of the Titans in 2 weeks, and we'll probably come off a 5-game win streak or lose streak there, and I fucking need us to have that win. But I'm gonna also be with my friends and Steven and Tyler, who are Titans fans, and I don't want them to be sad either. So I'm gonna be very conflicted that week. I know that for a fact. But
The best result that can happen is for y'all to tie.
no, best result is Seahawks barely
No.
beating the Titans because Steven all he said he's wanted a good game, so it's a good game. But I need a fucking win because I've had a win.
You're a better man than me, Ryan.
I want either I want the Titans to win or keep it close and just barely lose, because then if they barely lose, they get a better draft pick possibly at this point. So that's what I'm rooting for at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're
I'm
all
rooting for the
agreeing.
Titans to get a top 10 pick.
We for sure want the Seahawks to barely beat the Titans. That's what we all agree on. Steven agreed for that as well. So that is
No, I'm not fully committing to that. All right. Especially since I'm going to the game. I want to keep that streak of going to winning games.
But I'll go real quick just for this game. I mean, this is touting a little bit. I mean, I don't really have I have a hope, obviously, because it's still my team. I'm not going to just say we have absolutely no fucking chance, because it still is a division rivalry. But they kicked our ass in Lumen, and we're going to Levi now, and that's just, it's not going to. I mean, we possibly also are starting Drew Lock. So I don't know. I mean, I always have slight hope. I just hope it's not an awful game. I hope it's not like the fucking Ravens game. That's my goal this season. As long as we don't do as bad as we did against the Ravens, I'm fine with it, honestly.
Yeah.
As long as you lose by less than 34 points.
Yeah.
All
And get
right.
more than 3.
Let's move on. We've got the Vikings taking on the Raiders. Almost everybody went Vikings except for Matthew and Tyler, who tend to be the ones, if they go on their own, it's usually those two. Uh-oh.
The bottom boys.
Yeah. So, Matthew, why'd you pick the Raiders?
The main reason I need the Vikings to lose. If I'm going to be fully honest, it's not. I don't have faith in the Viking or in the Raiders when it comes to Justin Jefferson coming back this week. I should probably pick the Vikings.
I'm about to say, Matthew, have you seen how you've been picking this year? If you want the Vikings to lose, shouldn't you pick the Vikings?
I mean,
But he's slightly over 50%.
That is true.
I am.
Yeah. If he was under, then yes, but he's slightly above 50%.
I don't have a reason to pick the Raiders other than that. If I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, it's playoffs time, and I need the Vikings to lose. So
I fully respect that. That's why I picked the Eagles last week against 49ers. Is because fuck 49ers. So I fully respect that decision.
This is I can see this game going either way if the Raiders can somehow lock down Justin Jefferson, because as we've seen, Josh Dobbs has had a little bit of a rough patch here the last few weeks. But if he's able to play how he played when he was the Pastronaut and he has Justin Jefferson, then the Raiders are fucked. But if they're able to lock down Justin Jefferson, I can see this game going the other way.
We got a feeling Justin Jefferson's going to have a really, really good comeback game, and it scares me.
5 touchdowns and 308 yards.
Oh, wow.
If that happens, Ryan has a chance to make that fourth spot.
Then I will start having hope for the playoffs for our league. If that happens.
If that happens Monday night, I will be rooting for Tyreek Hill to just run all over the Titans. Like, please. Because Tyreek Hill, the whole reason I got him was to combat Justin Jefferson. So,
about to say, it was the fuck you Ryan trade.
Yeah, so you say. It had nothing to do with you, other than the Justin Jefferson thing. It had nothing to do with Tyler. Tyler was not.
Tyler, the whole point to get better players was to beat me as well, to get me into last.
Well, yeah, from his perspective, I'm saying that.
Both y'all's perspective. It was a good trade, but both y'all's perspectives was to kick my ass in the trade. So it was the fuck you Ryan trade.
All right, so now we've got their next game. We got the Broncos taking on the Chargers, and I feel a little weird over here by myself again. I honestly don't like it. Again, I always make my picks before knowing what everyone else did. Don't want to cheat on that. The second I saw this, I'm not gonna lie, there was a small part of me that was like, move over to the other side. Don't want to be by myself.
Nobody's gonna touch you if you move.
I mean, I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with it, I think. The only game that I'm thinking about switching is coming up here in a second. But I don't know. I can't decide what the Chargers are this year. They just put up 6 points, 2 field goals against the Patriots. So, which is just awful. But I'm really hoping that Eckler can maybe finally have a good game again against Denver. Maybe being able to run against Denver might be possible. I know they've been kind of up and down this year with rush defense. I don't know what they're ranked now, Jason, in rush defense.
The stats are still skewed from earlier this year, so the stats are not good. But within the
Dolphins game,
but because of just every game.
What happened earlier this year, Jason?
It's not.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have brought it up so they could be cocky.
He's going to be cocky. We still haven't beaten a team with a winning record this year. We have, so.
Hey, that's fine, man.
We've actually
beaten
teams with a winning record, so.
What's y'all's record, though?
We're 6-6.
What's y'all's schedule, Gavin?
Congratulations.
Yeah, what's your schedule, Gavin?
Our schedule is a schedule that's leading us to the number 1 seed.
Yeah, that's an easy schedule.
Leading you to a first-round loss in the playoffs.
Bingo.
Hard to get a first-round loss whenever you're on a bye week, pussy.
It's first game loss, then.
I fucking hope the Broncos make the playoffs and have to play you guys in the first round. I can't wait if that's what happens.
I hope that's there too, because I want them to break the record this time.
Y'all are scoring more than 20 points if we play you again.
I don't see that, but
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I like how this is supposed to be Broncos and Chargers, and it turned into Broncos and Dolphins, apparently.
This conversation comes up somehow almost every time me and Jason talk. Unless it's on Fortnite and we're just talking about how much we don't like the new changes to the map or anything. Most of the time our conversations are based around that week 3 game.
Gavin has to bring it up because it's the only thing this season that's made him happy.
Oh,
I mean, getting the number 1 seed has made me pretty darn happy.
Yeah.
You're not getting the 1 seed. Anyway, the Broncos-Chargers game. The Broncos are going to win because the Chargers don't have Joey Bosa. He's on IR. He's not playing. And Brandon Staley is the stupidest coach in the league behind Arthur Smith. So
Brandon Staley does need to be fired. As I brought it up, we talked about it after the Patriots game for the Chargers. Like, how is it you've got so many big, huge, you've got some huge players on that roster, and the Chargers still stink. And when they make it to the playoffs, they choke. It's just, I don't know. The Chargers are weird. And they probably need to let Staley go. But I don't know. This is one of those that it was like, I'm just going to go with my gut here, and some reason I thought Chargers. I'm probably going to be wrong. Once again, I'm trying to maybe have a chance of being on the you were right, we were wrong. Maybe this is one of them. Who knows? But
And I was gonna say the Chargers scoring trends in their last 4 games, they scored 38 against the Lions, 20 against the Packers, 10 against the Ravens, and then 6 against the Patriots. So they've just slowly been going
Downtrend.
downhill. So this week they're scheduled to get like between 0 and 3 points. So
this might be a 27-3 Broncos game.
I wish.
That'd be.
I don't
that'd
think
be
it's
something.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but that'd be great.
It'd make my pick look a lot worse though, so that'd be
It
fun.
would. That would be a worst picks of the week.
Yeah, I probably would consider that for that one. All right, let's move on. We've got the Bills at the Chiefs. Right now, at least, it is Gavin and Tyler, or Gavin and Ryan. Sorry, I looked at the wrong slide.
The wrong white bearded dude.
Yeah, Gavin and Ryan over there on Bill's side, and then everyone else went Chiefs. Apparently Pacheco is out. I found that out like right before we recorded. We were talking about it earlier.
So
Got
I
ejected
have
from the Packers.
I have the depth chart pulled up for the Chiefs. They have some significant injuries that everybody needs to think about here. They don't have Justin Ross from the suspension. They don't have Mecole Hardman. He's on IR. Donovan Smith, their starting left tackle, is out. Isaiah Pacheco is out. Drew Tranquil, their linebacker, is out. The Chiefs are falling apart.
Big Travis Kelce game incoming.
You think?
If they're missing that many people, I wouldn't. I mean, who else do they have?
The problem is, though, is they're missing a lot of their receivers. The Bills are going to cover Travis Kelce like crazy. I mean, Mahomes is not going to have anybody to throw to except for Travis Kelce. I'm trying to
This
see
has
if
been Travis's issue this whole year. Instead of being able to get those big chunk plays like he used to, he's forced to have to run this short game. And look at Steven being a silent changing boy
Steven-
right
I mean,
now.
I'm gonna do it.
Steven, change me.
No,
The Bills are getting Dawson Knox back. They just activated him off IR about 30 minutes ago. He's going to play. Yeah.
That's the third game that me and Tyler have picked together.
Mhm.
Second game.
I'm not happy with that switch. Y'all go back over there. I wanted to just. I was happy. No, fuck off. I've been a Bills believer since like day one.
No, this
It's
is
not that I'm a Bills believer. It's that I'm a Chiefs non-believer.
Oh yeah, but I'm a Bills. I'm both of them actually right now.
There's something weird going on with the Chiefs this year.
They're just
same
not
with the
good.
Bills though
About them.
too.
Yeah, they're just not as good. They lost all their playmakers.
But that's the thing. They didn't lose all of their playmakers. They still have a lot of playmakers on their team. They're just, for some reason, they're not performing.
Their playmakers aren't real playmakers. They have people like Kadarius Toney and
I'm not
Marquez
talking
Valdez
about-
Scantling.
I'm not talking about any of their wide receivers. When I say they have playmakers,
Then
I'm
who
not
are
talking
you
about any
talking
of
about?
them.
Who are you
Their
talking
running
about then?
backs, their running backs, their quarterback, their tight end, their defense has a lot of good players on it. I mean, Drew Tranquil is out this week, but they still have a lot of good players on defense.
They have Travis Kelce, and if you want to consider Patrick Mahomes a playmaker, which nobody considers quarterbacks playmakers, and I guess you can consider Isaiah Pacheco, and he's out.
I don't know where you got the
Good ball.
idea that no one considers quarterbacks playmakers.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that. That I did.
No. When do you hear analysts talk about playmakers when they talk about quarterbacks?
All the time.
Mobile quarterbacks mostly is when that terminology is
And
used.
what
for
is
them. Like,
Patrick
you
Mahomes
consider
not?
Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson. I am now blanking on any Jalen Milroe, I guess, if you want to go to college, because for some reason I can't think of any other just run
Russell
first
Wilson.
quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. There we go.
The
There we go.
The
Jalen
other
Hurts.
Jalen from Alabama.
I really thought that's
Yeah.
who he was going to say, and then he said
Yeah,
Milroe, and I was like,
I was like, what are you
Yeah,
talking
for some
about?
reason Jalen Hurts just completely left my fucking head, but I got Bama on the brain right now. I got Bama on the brain.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I disagree with what you said, Matthew. On the I
Disagree if you
definitely,
want,
I
but-
definitely see most people are. I mean, you need to talk with Collinsworth. You know, he's a big Patrick Mahomes fan, so he'd probably say he's a playmaker. But I think, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, we know he's like arguably the best quarterback in the league. Now this year, I don't know what's happened to him, but
Mm.
Doesn't have any
regardless,
playmakers.
he doesn't have anyone else
That's
around
his
him yet.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't know what we ate today, but goddamn, we are just going at each other's throats this
Yeah.
episode.
I'm good. Just chilling.
I think with Patrick Mahomes, the biggest thing this year is just so much miscommunication between players. There was so much trust put into the wide receiver room. There was so much trust put into the fact that Travis Kelce, even though he's 34 years old right now, was going to still be that dominant playmaking tight end. There's so much trust put into the offensive line. There was a lot of hype around the Kansas City area talking about this offensive line that has severely underperformed. Their woes are mainly on offense. Their defense has been trying to stay consistent. They've been trying to keep them in games. I don't think they've given up more than 30 points in a game this season. I'm having a hard time thinking about any game that they have.
The team that scored the most points against them was the Green Bay Packers with 27 points.
Hey, go Pack, go! Right?
Back.
Followed by the Denver
the
Broncos
goal-
at 24.
Hey,
The goal as a defense is you want to try and keep a team under 17 points. If you can do that, the goal as an offense is to score over 20 in the true NFL. That's the scoring ranges that you go for. If you do it every week, you win every game. But
Well,
I think the defense has been humming. It's just offensive woes.
I'll just say, I mean, something's happened with the Bills, and we know that they've been bad. These are both of these teams are in a weird situation where they have just been a letdown this year. So this is like the letdown bowl. That's what I'm going to
Yeah,
call
this was supposed to be two teams that has Super Bowl aspirations going into this year, and
Yeah.
I don't think either of them are making
Yeah.
it past the first round of the playoffs.
Before the season, you'd be asking, this is going to be a game fighting for a potential playoff seed, like what standing they're going to get, and it may not be either of them, like you're saying. So, but yeah, let's move on. Fuck this game. All right, now we're at primetime games. We've got the Eagles taking on the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Most everybody went Cowboys except for Matthew and Ryan. So
I really don't feel comfortable picking this game at all. 'Cause it's so random each time.
I mean, the Cowboys defense just let Geno Smith throw all over their asses. What is Jalen Hurts going to do to them?
But it's just I don't know. Just with how the division rivalry is, you just can never tell. I went with the Eagles anyway, just because I feel like they're the better all around team. But that's
are.
Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense has been on 100 for the past 6 weeks. So
I'm in the same boat as what Jason said last time they played. I decided I was going to do the same thing. I picked the Eagles at home, and then I picked the Cowboys at home. This is kind of, I mean, the last game, the Cowboys probably should have won that game against the Eagles before.
Yeah.
They just a couple little mistakes there at the end, and they didn't quite get there. But especially playing at AT&T Stadium, I just think the Cowboys will hopefully get it together. I do want to say the thing that's interesting is Deron Bland has been a big name this year, and the Seahawks burned him. They just, I mean, I should say specifically, DK Metcalf burned him so bad. Do I know if AJ Brown or Devontae Smith does the same thing? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, the Cowboys are in the same almost same boat as the Dolphins, where they haven't really played anybody good or beat anybody good. The first team they beat with a winning record was the Seahawks, I think, wasn't it? So, and like I said, go ahead, Jason.
No, my point is a little bit long winded. So
okay, well, I'm saying it's just I know I do this all the time, but I base stuff on like how certain teams go against each other. I really wish that we'd already played the Eagles, so I could have seen how the Seahawks played against both the Eagles and the Cowboys. But like I said, I know Geno's got a lot of weapons, but with him, I think Jalen's going to just whip the Cowboys' ass, and I think the Eagles' defense is better than the Seahawks' defense, so they can actually stop the Cowboys.
You're
That's my 100% reasoning because I only watch Seahawks games really.
you are very wrong on what defense is better, statistically at least.
Really?
The Eagles' secondary is fucking terrible, Ryan.
Yeah.
So is ours. I mean, we have
I'm-
Devin Witherspoon. That's it.
I
Here,
think
I'm
the
pulling it
Eagles
up.
are like
Hang
one
on.
of the worst secondaries in the league right now.
So are we.
The Cowboys have the number 3 overall defense. The Eagles are about 22nd.
in defense.
Yes.
What's the Seahawks?
Yeah.
The Seahawks are one above the Eagles.
Well, right. So I mean, it's okay. Well, it's maybe not that much different than I thought they were, but still.
Well, and that's also overall defense. I'd like to compare.
Yeah,
like,
what's
isn't
the
the
passing defense?
Eagles secondary specifically like 30th or something? Like, it's even worse than that.
Their secondary is 29th.
29th.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, and that was the whole reason that I switched from the Eagles to the 49ers when they played. And of course, that was right. The 49ers, those wide receivers just destroyed the Eagles secondary. So,
The reasoning, obviously, I said earlier in the season that I was going to pick the Cowboys when they played at home. The Eagles have not beaten the Cowboys in AT&T Stadium since 2017, I think. And the Cowboys win against the Eagles at home by an average of like 23 points or something like that in that span. They usually destroy the Eagles when they play in AT&T. So I'm assuming with the way their offense has been this year, which is much better than what we've seen in previous years, I think they're going to put up a lot of points again. And their defense is good enough that I think they're going to do what the 49ers did basically last week and shut them down. So,
but back to what Matthew said too. Weird games. So who knows?
Weird games.
It's going to be a weird game probably, but I still feel pretty confident on the Cowboys on this one, but especially because they're going to be fighting for that division. I mean, they're right there next to each other.
Yeah, I really don't know who's going to win this division at this point.
The one benefit is that the Eagles played the Giants twice. So they still have to play them twice, and I think the Eagles can destroy the Giants. So they'll have a couple easy wins at the end.
If the Eagles lose this game, it'll probably be their last loss of the season.
All right, let's move on. We've got 2 Monday Night Football games this week. This is the first one. We've got the Packers taking on the Giants. And,
I don't like that this week because now we're probably going to lose.
I like that confidence, Matthew. It's really great. So,
I mean, that just
Packers
seems like what's going to happen, and especially because it's prom time. After last week, can you blame me?
I'm starting to see the Packers, especially after watching them on the Thanksgiving game. Like, Jordan Love seems to have figured it out again. Maybe with Aaron Jones being back, potentially that'll help too. I think
he's the only quarterback this season with 4 games with 3+ touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
There you go.
Pretty decent. He's on like 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and like 800 something yards in the past 3 games. So he's been playing out of his mind.
How are the Packers against tight ends? Just out of curiosity.
Only tight end I can remember this season that tore us up, and it's weird. It was Jonnu Smith back when we played against the Falcons. That's the only one that has actually I've really seen a bunch of production against.
Because isn't Darren Waller supposed to be back from IR? I don't know if he's supposed to be back or not. I remember hearing something about that.
I'm looking at their depth chart. Hang on.
But regardless, this is a completely different Packers team than it was even a month ago. Something clicked after we broke the losing streak. I can't remember who it was we broke it against. But after that win, they have been on go. Jordan Love's hitting it in stride with the rookies now. He's not missing wide open throws. The only problem is that we can't stay healthy. All of our big playmakers are out. So
I think a lot of it was Jordan Love. I feel like Jordan Love started playing like he was about to lose his job. Like it was at that level. Because like ever since then, like when a few weeks back, it's just like he's been playing out of his mind, and it's like he did not look like that. Obviously, the first game against the Bears, he looked like he was just another great Green Bay Packer quarterback. Then he kind of fell off, and then now he's been hot the last several weeks. So, yeah, I think it was that. I think they were potentially thinking about who's y'all's backup? Clifford.
Don't know. Yeah, Clifford.
Yeah, I think they were potentially considering throwing in Clifford, and he's like, "No, I'm going to keep my starting job."
Well, back whenever I think we had five losses or whatever it was, and our GM said these next games are going to be a big tell for Jordan Love's future, and after that, he's turned it around. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. We're fighting for that 7 seed right now. So
also, side note, it's a Monday Night Football. There's 2 games going on at the exact same time. This one's on ABC, so bringing back the networks that I did at the end of last season.
I like how you have the ESPN Monday Night Football, NFL, ABC.
Well, I mean, I didn't have the logo. Okay,
I know,
what I did.
But I like how you didn't corrupt the ESPN with the ABC. You just left ESPN in there as well. So it's funny. I like it, Steven.
All right, let's move on. Now we got the best game of the week. We got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football on ESPN. So you got a white ESPN and red ESPN.
Yeah. The double. He wants you to make sure you know this on ESPN this week.
Next time I'll put exactly what time it starts and everything too. Yeah. All right, so
and for me, Steve, if you can put the temperature of each stadium, that would help my picking a lot better. Actually.
Oh yes,
I want to know what the attendance is.
All right, but the Titans at the Dolphins. Everyone went Dolphins except for Tyler, who picked the Titans. Yes, I did pick against my own team. Yes, I do feel horrible about it. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I just don't see a chance, especially if Jeffrey Simmons is going to be out. Derrick Henry was questionable at first. It sounds like he didn't end up going into concussion protocol like we thought after the Colts game. Stonehouse is out, so we're not going to be able to get good field position from punting either. So I just don't see there's no recipe for success here, which is why somehow, some way they're going to tighten it up and find a way to no pun intended there. To just figure out a way to win the game, but just to fuck me over with the picks too, because that's what happened before. I've picked against the Titans one time this season, and I picked the Chargers, and they beat the Chargers 27-3 or something like that. So
this is my my weekly reminder or my weekly boasting again that I have not picked the Dolphins wrong yet in our podcast, and I'm the only person who hasn't picked the team wrong yet. So it's my one consolation prize this year. Now, Gavin, go on your rant.
Oh yes,
gentlemen, I want to paint a little picture. I want to paint a little picture for you guys. You're
going to be fucking insufferable, aren't you?
I'm about to
picture yourselves as a 21-year-old Gavin Torbert taking a trip up to Nashville in January 2022.
Oh yeah, okay. Revenge game. Revenge game. To be fair,
taking a trip to Nashville in January 2022. High hopes for a Dolphins playoff push. And the only thing we need to be able to accomplish this feat is to be able to watch my team, the first time I get to see them live, beat the Titans in Nashville. Said Titans having clinched the playoffs already. And our fringe playoff hopes, after watching us get demolished throughout the entire game, having to listen to 2 douchebags chirp Tua through an entirety of all 4 quarters. And the nosebleed seats through freezing cold. I watched the Dolphins' playoff hopes die in that stadium, in Nissan Stadium, to this team. I sent a message out to my father and my brother, who are both Titans fans this week, who are also at said game with me. I reminded them of that story as well. And I said, I hope you guys are watching, because I hope the Dolphins score 70 fucking 3 points against the Titans this week just for revenge over those 2 motherfuckers chirping me the entire way back, and the fact that they destroyed my playoff hopes, and also my first ever Dolphins game I went to. Every other week, I have nothing but respect for the Titans faithful, the Titans fan base. But just based on the fact that this is a revenge game specifically for me, I hope that Tua can feel my energy I'm passing on to him through his sleeve. And I hope he lets that lefty hand throw to Tyreek Hill for 200 plus yards on his road to 2K. And I hope they have just a hell of a game to be able to get us to, if I'm not mistaken, 10 wins this season.
I'm kind of rooting for Gavin now. I'll be honest. That moved me.
Well, Gavin, thank you.
You guys thought it was going to be just an on-top cocky rant. No, this was a story that has been brewing since January 2022, where I watched the Dolphins lose 2 times in that 1 year. I watched them lose twice.
Well, Gavin, thank you for reading us a little bit of your diary on the podcast. That was very insightful and very passionate. Yes, we talked about this game before. Me and Tyler were also at the game that he's mentioning, and man, that was hype. The Titans beat the Dolphins, and then we were literally waiting at the end watching the Bengals play the Chiefs, and since the Bengals beat the Chiefs, we got the 1 seed, and we've sucked since. That was the last time the Titans have been good.
I just want to say 2 words after Gavin's incredible story. It made me emotional, actually. Go
like
Titans!
Crying over there.
Are you switching, Jason? You switching?
No, I'm not switching. But I'll now that you've mentioned you watched your playoff hopes die, I want to see your reaction to your 1 seed hopes dying as well.
Damn,
that's tough.
I feel like there's a rivalry brewing between the two of you. Like that Dolphins Broncos game just completely split y'all apart. Y'all hate each other now.
I don't hate Gavin. I love Gavin, but
he hates the Dolphins. He does hate Dolphins fans.
I really want to see the Broncos and the Dolphins play in the playoffs. I do. I want to see it. And if we lose 70-20 again, so be it. But I want to see that game replayed with our revamped defense.
It's
what if you guys lose 48-20?
That's fine. I just want to. I want to see. I want to see the game again with our revamped defense.
It's starting to seem that Jason feels the same way that Dolphins that Matt feels about the Seahawks. So
he's on a different level than me because I don't really like root against the Seahawks.
It's
every
been a while
week.
since we've had like the rivalry. You know, like we've in the history the past 10 years. But
we've had a history.
Yes,
we're the new ones that every week we're gonna get into an argument.
It makes it worse now. It makes it worse now because the game was played while we had the podcast. If the playoff game that me and that I hate the Seahawks for happened during this, it would have been awful.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's the whole reason for this. Because I remember prior to that Dolphins game against the Broncos, I went on a long-winded rant, making a joke of it, saying that we're going to whoop the Broncos' ass, and then we dropped 70. So I had to be in an insufferable piece of shit to Jason for a while. Just a few weeks of just sending him the box score. And, I still am. Because I just did. The whole reason I did that whole setup was just to get the reaction. And I feel like right now we're putting good content out there, Jason. I enjoy our banter.
I will say if the Broncos and the Dolphins play in the playoffs, we have to all be together and watch that game, and Steven has got to record a lot of content we can put out because we're going to be at each other's throat the whole time.
Speaking of content, go ahead. Sorry.
I would love to do a Discord watch along with that game because I don't know if I'll be able to fly back for any playoff games because I think those are going. Oh no, I definitely won't because that'll be during training camp more than likely for me. But
I don't know if I want
100%.
Sit in with y'all with that game because both of y'all will be insufferable no matter what happens. So, it doesn't matter who wins, y'all will both be insufferable. So, I don't know if I want to watch that with y'all.
Now, speaking of
whichever one of us wins, everybody loses.
Speaking of extra content, I'm still thinking about grabbing that little section where Gavin went on his little Dolphins sad rant and just putting that as its own video.
We need a TikTok, Steven. Put that on TikTok.
Yeah, make a YouTube short out of it or something too. Yeah, just help grow the channel. Those apparently help you grow a YouTube channel. So, All right, let's move
They're
on.
cheat codes.
We talked about this way too long.
We have one more game.
This is a podcast game. It makes sense.
All right. The last game, which is, of course, next week's game, Thursday Night Football. We've got the Chargers taking on the Raiders. And everyone went
Let's
Raiders. Huh?
The hashtag Let's Charge.
Yeah.
What a weird pick, Ryan.
It's
never have
bolt
expected
up
to make
typically
it.
is what they go for. But yeah, the Raiders, everyone went Raiders except for Ryan who went Chargers. So let's hear it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Raiders aren't that good. Chargers can do good. I mean, they're trending downwards, of course, but they're going to start trending upwards. They hit their bottom with the 6. They're going to get more points this week with the Broncos, and they're going to get even more points this next Thursday with the Raiders.
They might get 10 points against the Raiders.
No, they're going to get at least, like they said, they're getting 14 at least on the Broncos. But I think the Broncos are still going to win. But they're going to get like 20-something points against the Raiders.
Okay.
I'm calling it. I don't know. I don't know. The Raiders aren't that good. Chargers have more weapons than the Raiders do. They actually utilize their weapons more than the Raiders do. I'll say that.
You say that, but
Well, in general, not like recently. I'm just saying in general.
yeah.
Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler have done more than Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs obviously hasn't done much this year.
The AFC just seems so crowded with just absolute mid teams.
It is.
And I just what's shocking to me is like the Chargers, in theory, should be at a great position right now in the AFC with how many backup quarterbacks are playing. But they are just that bad that even with Justin Herbert still at the helm for the entirety of the season, they have not been able to pull away in the AFC.
Starting to think
That is a testament to how bad Brandon Staley is.
You know, we talked about it when Herbert got his big extension that, you know, it's like he hadn't really done much, certainly no playoff wins or anything. Like, now it's really looking bad. Like, it's like, dude, you straight up robbed the Chargers organization. Because he has not been good enough.
Brandon Staley's their head coach, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is they're going to lose the Broncos this week, and then they're going to fire Brandon Staley, and then it's going to be the head coach effect for this game.
Ooh.
Mm.
Now that's a pretty sweet prediction. I like that. So.
If that prediction is right, Steven owes me $100.
No,
Well,
I didn't agree.
Yeah.
Stop making bets with my money, people. Y'all do it a lot on this podcast.
Think on it, Ryan.
Put your fucking hands
I'll
down.
go in that direction. If his prediction is wrong, you can only get $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, y'all. That's the last bit of the pick. So let's go back to. Let me get back to the overall stats. Sorry, a lot of games here.
That damn Panther.
There we go.
It's now a Tanther because it's a Tyler Panther.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a Tanther.
A Tanther.
But yeah, this is where we stand right now. So you know, we always try to say, hey, big shakeup happening, and then it never happens.
Because we all like equally go out, kind of like random fucking outlandish picks and get them wrong, and then it just ends up we all like even out at the end of the week, pretty much.
Or there's a big upset that none of us saw coming that pulls us all back together too. So, all right, well, Ryan, you did the intro. Gavin, you want to take us out?
Sure, yeah, I'll do it, man. Thank you guys so very much for listening again to the Always Out of Market podcast. If you would, please be a friend, tell a friend, share the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you guys are doing your socials. We want to build a broader audience to be able to build a better listening and viewing experience for you guys. Thank you all so very much for joining and letting us penetrate your ear holes today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Team on me. 1, 2, 3, team.